Hey, good morning, everybody. Praise be to the Lord.
Now and forever.
Now and forever.
We're going to continue and finish the unit number 11 in math. And now we're going to be on lesson number 11.5, right? That is going to talk about converting metric units of mass. On Monday and Wednesday, we already saw to convert to units of liters, right? And also, and right now we're going to see how to convert units of mass, sorry, about that is grams, kilograms, and all of that. So please pay attention because then in the next hour we're going to start to work on some exercises from the book, right? So please pay attention to the videos that I already prepared for you. That is going to explain a little bit more that what I want you to know, actually. Sorry.
Welcome to Math with Mr. J. In this video, we're going to be converting metric units of mass, and specifically milligrams, grams, and kilograms. And our base unit of mass for the metric system is going to be a gram. So everything's going to be based around that gram. And the other units of mass are going to have prefixes attached to gram, and that's going to tell us what those units of mass mean. So for example, milligram, the prefix milli means 1/1000th. So a milligram is 1/1000th of a gram. Therefore, 1,000 milligrams equals 1 gram. And for a point of reference, a milligram is a unit of mass that is about a grain of salt or sand. Next, we talked about our base unit gram, and for point of reference, a gram is about a paper clip or stick of gum. And then kilogram, we have the prefix kilo. That means 1,000. So it takes 1,000 grams to equal 1 kilogram. And a kilogram is a little over 2 pounds, so about the mass of a textbook. And then down here we have one last note. 1 kilogram equals 1,000,000 milligrams. So let's jump into some conversions here where we're going to convert between milligrams, grams, and kilograms. So number one, 3 kilograms equals how many grams? Well, 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams, but we have 3, so 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. So we can do 3 times 1,000 to give us how many grams that would equal. And that's going to give us 3,000 grams. Next, we have 8 kilograms equals how many grams? So 8 groups of 1,000. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 8 times. So when we're going from kilograms to grams, we multiply by 1,000. Just like number one, except we have 8 kilograms here. So we're going to end up with 8,000 grams. 8 kilograms equals 8,000 grams. For number 3, we're going to go the opposite way. We're going to go from grams to kilograms. So we start with 5,000 grams, and we need to split that 5,000 into groups of 1,000. Each one of those groups of 1,000 equals 1 kilogram. So when we're going from grams to kilograms, we need to divide by 1,000. 5,000 divided by 1,000 equals 5. Number 4, we're going from kilograms to milligrams. So 3 kilograms. Each one of those kilograms is 1,000,000 milligrams. So 1,000,000 lastly, number 6, 8,000 milligrams equals how many grams? Well, we need to split into groups of 1,000. Each one of those 1,000 is a 1 gram. So milligrams, grams, divide by 1,000. And we end up with 8 grams. So there you have it. There's converting metric units of mass with milligrams, grams, and kilograms. Hopefully that helped. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, peace.
In this video, we're going to look at how to convert between different metric units for mass, such as grams, kilograms, and tons. So, to convert between different metric units for mass, such as grams, kilograms, and tons, this is how you do. So, to go from grams to kilograms, you divide by 1,000. For instance, 1,000 grams is 1 kilogram. To convert between kilograms and tons, you also divide by 1,000. So, for instance, 1,000 kilograms is 1 ton. To convert between tons and kilograms, you times by 1,000. So 3 tons would be 3,000 kilograms. And to convert between kilograms and grams, you times by 1,000. So for instance, 4 kilograms would be 4,000 grams. Okay, let's have a look at some typical questions. So, convert 2 kilograms into grams. So to go from kilograms to grams, you times by 1,000. So you do 2 times 1,000. 2 times 1,000 is equal to 2,000 grams. Next, to convert 1.6 kilograms into grams. So again, to go from kilograms to grams, you times by 1,000. So you do 1.6 times 1,000. When you do 1.6 times 1,000, you would get 1,600. So that would be 1,600 grams. Next, convert 6,000 grams into kilograms. So this time we're going from grams into kilograms. So this time we're going to divide by 1,000. So 6,000 divided by 1,000 would be equal to 6 kilograms. And finally, convert 800 grams into kilograms. So to convert from grams to kilograms, you divide by 1,000. So you can do 8,000 or 800 divided by 1,000. And 800 divided by 1,000 would be 0.8. So that would be 0.8 kilograms. Okay, now we're going to include some tons into these. So convert 4 tons into kilograms. So to go from tons to kilograms, you times by 1,000. So we're going to do 4 times 1,000, which would be equal to 4,000 kilograms. So that means that 4 tons is 4,000 kilograms. Convert 1.8 tons into kilograms. So again, to convert from tons to kilograms, you times by 1,000. So 1.8 times 1,000 would be equal to 1,800 kilograms. Okay. This time, convert 2,000 kilograms into tons. So to go from kilograms to tons, you divide by 1,000. So we're going to do 2,000 divided by 1,000. Oh, well, that's going to be equal to 2 tons. And finally, convert 1,700 kilograms into tons. And again, to convert from kilograms to tons, you divide by 1,000. So we're going to do 1,700 divided by 1,000. And that would be, take off the 2 zeros, that's what point it, 1.7. So it would be 1.7 tons. Okay. Now let's look at what happens if we're going from grams to tons and so on. So convert 3 million grams into tons. So to convert from grams into tons, we're going to have to convert it into kilograms first of all, by dividing by 1,000. And then to convert from kilograms to tons, we're going to divide by another 1,000. So first of all, let's take our 3 million grams and divide it by 1,000. So divided by 1,000 takes off 3 zeros, so 1, 2, 3, that would leave you with 3,000 kilograms. So I've just converted from grams to kilograms. Now I want to go from kilograms to tons. So I'm going to divide by another 1,000. So I'm going to do 3,000 divided by 1,000, which would be equal to 3 tons. So 3 million grams is 3 tons. And finally, convert 4.5 tons into grams. So you go from tons to grams, you're going to do times by 1,000 to get it to kilograms, times by another 1,000. So we're going to do 4.5 times 1,000 to get our 4.5 tons into kilograms, which would be 4,500. And times by another 1,000, so we're going to do, that's kilograms. grams, we're going to times by another 1,000, so we're going to do 4,500 times 1,000, and that would be, adding on your 3 zeros, 4,500, 3 more zeros, 1, 2, 3, would be 4,500,000 grams. And that's it.
Okay, if you see, it's very simple to use and to calculate actually um, it's very simple to convert metric units of mass. It's the same principle as we used to share the units of length and the units of when we calculate the mass of liters, milliliters, and all of that. It's the same principle, right? It's the same principle. So let's go to our book on page number 671. On page number 670, right? 670. Six 670. Everybody in your book. That sets on the page number 617 says, the three most commonly used units of mass are the milligrams, that is mg, the gram, that is g, and the kilogram, that is kj. Converting metric units of mass is like converting other metric units. For example, 10 cubed milligrams is equal to 1 gram. 10 cubes of grams is equal to 1 kilogram, right? For example, the letter B, a whistle has a mass of about 5 grams. How many milligrams is this? To change from a large unit to a smaller unit, you have to multiply, right? You have to find 5 times 10 cubes, or 10 cubic, right? 5 times 10 cubic, it's equal to get 5 times 1,000, right? And this is equal to 5,000. So 5 grams, it's equal to 5,000 grams, milligrams, sorry. So a whistle has a mass about 5,000 milligrams. I don't know if everything is clear right now. Do you have any question? Make question, people. Because on Monday, you will make one, this Monday, you will do an assignment on Pearson, right? About these topics. Okay, so ask. It's better if you ask. Let's select the letter C. How many kilograms of the whistle is the whistle? To change from a smaller unit to a large unit, you have to divide. You have to find 5 divide 10 cubic. 5 divide 10 cubic, it's equal to have 5, it's dividing 1000. And that is equal to 0.005. So 5 grams, it's equal to 0.005 kilograms. So a whistle has a mass of about 0.005 kilograms. So let's make a review about all the mass, all the units of length, okay? All the things that we already saw. So we're going to see, we're going to remember all the ways to use a converting units of mass, units of length, right? We're going to remember that.
Marker board videos. Today we're going to talk about metric conversions. We're going to do a brief review of the metric system in general, and then we're going to talk about how to convert from one unit to another within the metric system. So the first thing you need to remember is that the metric system is based on 10. 1 times 10, 10 times 10, 100 times 10. But the bottom line is it's based on 10. The system we currently use in the United States isn't based on 10. In fact, it's not really based on any one number. If you take an inch and you look on a ruler and you look at the small divisions for a ruler, you'll either find that an inch is based on 8 or 16 individual pieces. And if you take a foot, you'll see that it's broken down into 12 individual units we call inches. Next, bigger than a foot is a yard, and that's broken down into either 3 pieces, 3 feet, or 36 pieces, 36 inches. But it's not based on anything nice and same like the metric system is based on zeros and tens. The metric system really doesn't involve any fractions. You may see it as 1 over 10, but to me that's 0.1 or 1/10. You may see something that says 1 over 100, but to me that's 1/100. The metric system is also used by people throughout the world. We're one.
I have a question. Do you hear the video? Do you hear something else?
I hear a little noise.
What?
A little noise.
Like wind, like wind or something.
What's a bender?
Of 3 countries that does not use the metric system. And frankly, I think it's much easier to use the metric system than the system we use currently. The metric system is made up of a series of prefixes and root words. And the prefixes are pretty easy to remember if you remember this mnemonic device or this memory assistive device. King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. Now, I don't know why it works for other people, and I don't know why it works for me, but I can tell you this. From the time I was a child, I found that using mnemonic devices helped me tremendously remember things that otherwise would have just been random bits and pieces of information or letters. For some reason, when I was younger, I had a hard time remembering how to spell the word geography. No matter what I did, I just really struggled with how to spell that word. Until I realized there was a delightful mnemonic device or memory assistive device that I could use. And that statement was, George E.'s old grandfather rode a pony home yesterday. Now, why I could remember that sentence and not the individual letters, I don't know. But it helped me a lot. And hopefully this mnemonic device will help you too. King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. There's other mnemonic devices that you can use for the metric prefixes. And if you know of one that you use that works for you, please share it in the comment section under this video. Because if it works for you, it will probably help somebody else. And I may even like it more than my chocolate milk mnemonic device. So when you're converting from one metric unit to the other, the first thing that you want to do is draw a horizontal line. Just draw a line. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be straight. It just needs to be there. And on the horizontal line, you're going to put 7 tick marks, kind of like 7 days of the week. That's how I remember how many to put. Now you'll notice that I make the one in the middle, the fourth one, larger. You don't have to. I do. But that's totally up to you as to whether you want to make that a larger line or not. Then, above each of the individual tick marks, you write the abbreviations for the mnemonic. K for king, H for Henry, D for died, U for unexpectedly, D for drinking, C for chocolate, and M for milk. Underneath the U, I put these letters to help me remember what my words are, the metric system. You don't have to put those if you don't want to. It just helps me. So what do those letters stand for? Well, M is the abbreviation for meter, and sometimes it's spelled with an ER at the end, and sometimes it's spelled with an RE. In the United States, we use the ER spelling. And a meter is the standard measure for length. It's a little bigger than a yard, a little bigger than a yard, but it's the measurement of length, M. L, and it's uppercase L, not lowercase l, it looks like a capital L. That's the abbreviation for liter. Again, there's two spellings of it. We prefer the ER spelling of liter. Liter is the standard measure for volume. You probably already know that because you drink pop from a 2-liter bottle. So you're familiar with the unit liter and the volume. G is the abbreviation for gram, and gram is the root word or the base word for the SI unit for mass. But it's not what the standard is based on. A paperclip weighs about a gram. A nickel, which is 5 cents, weighs about 5 grams. That's an easy way to remember what a gram is. However, kilogram is the standard measure for mass, not the gram. Gram is simply the base word. Kilogram is a measure for mass, not for weight. There's a difference. In the metric system, we specify mass probably more frequently than we specify weight. So what do the prefixes mean? K, remember we said king. Here's our letters. King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk. K is for kilo, and kilo is the same thing as saying 1,000. If I said I had a kilo of pizzas, I would have 1,000 pizzas. If I said I had a kilo of students, I would have 1,000 students. Kilo dollars, $1,000. Kilo means 1,000, and it's used quite a bit. H is for hecto. Hecto stands for 100. We don't use that on a fairly regular basis, but you need to know that hecto is the prefix that means 100. Deca can be spelled two ways, D-E-C-A or D-E-K-A, and that means 10. And I find that pretty easy to remember because a decade is 10 years, D-E-C. Deca is 10. The abbreviation for deca is either D-K or D-A. Both mean deca. Hecto, the abbreviation is H. Kilo, the abbreviation is K. U is for unit. That's where you have your root word. So it would be meter, liter, or gram. Deci, with an I at the end, means 1/10. Centi, with an I at the end, is 1/100th. That one's also pretty easy for me to remember because I think about the word cent in the word centi, and I realize there's 100 cents in a dollar, or 1 cent is 1/100th dollar. And milli is 1/1000th. Now, the way I remember that these are the smaller units is because they all end in I. So does the word mini. Mini ends in the letter I, and these end in I, and mini to me is small, and these are small. So that's how you remember they're less than 1. So here's my metric slider. King Henry died unexpectedly drinking chocolate milk, with the meter, the liter, and the gram. Again, to put these together, KM would be kilo, meter, HL would be hectoliter, DA or DKG would be decagram, deciliter, centiliter, and milliliter. So how do you use the metric slider? First of all, you're going to start with a number. You're always going to be given a number, like how many centimeters are in 127 millimeters. Sometimes the decimal is showing when you're given that information, and sometimes it's not. If it's not showing, you can go ahead and put a decimal to the right of the last number. It's there, it's invisible, but when you're using the metric slider, you need to make it visible. Then you're going to add some extra zeros. You're going to add some extra zeros before the number, you're going to add some extra zeros after the number, and that's so that when you're using your metric slider, you have some room to work. Then you're going to look at the unit for the known quantity in your problem. So if you're going from centimeters to millimeters, the known quantity is centimeters. 127 centimeters. You're going to put your pointer on centi. Then you're going to move to the new unit. In this case, we're moving from centi to milli. And we're going to count both the number of jumps and the direction that we go. We're going to pay attention to the direction we go and count the number of jumps. And then we're going to move our decimal in the original number, the same number of spaces, and in the same direction as we moved our pointer on the metric slider. So let's do an example. How many millimeters are in 57 centimeters? So the number we're starting out with is 57. We're going from centimeters to millimeters. So we're going to write the 57. We're going to show the decimal. We're going to add extra zeros. Use our slider to put the pointer on the first unit, the starting unit, in this case centi. And count the number of jumps and notice the direction needed to get to milli. So here's what it looks like. 57 centimeters. There's my decimal. My extra zeros to the right. It's still 57. Now if you know significant figures, you know we've changed the significant figures, but we haven't changed the value of the 57. Add some more zeros. Eventually you'll realize that you only need to add zeros either at the end of a number or at the beginning of a number, but when you're first starting out, it's just good technique to add them in both. There's my metric slider. I'm going to start at centi and move to milli. So I'm moving one jump to the right. If I add this and move one jump to the right, my decimal goes from after the 7 to after the 0. So 57 centimeters is 570 millimeters. Let's do another example. 14.92 liters is how many kiloliters? What are you going to do first to solve this problem? Pause the tape now and talk to someone around you or write down what your first step is going to be to solve this problem. Hopefully you did pause the tape because you're going to use your slider to find out the answer. And there's a slider. We're going to start on liters. Now if you'll notice, none of these says L. Liter went under our units or our root word column. We're going to go from liters to kilo. So let's count. 1, 2, 3 to the left. And indeed, 3 jumps to the left. 4.92 liters becomes 0.01492 kiloliters. Ready for another one? Here we go. Next example, 7,250 centiliters is how many kiloliters? Pause the video now. You can use your metric slider. Talk to someone that's around you and see if you can figure out the conversion. I'm sure you did great using your metric converter. So we're going from centi to kilo. Centi is right here. Kilo is right here. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 jumps to the left. 5 jumps to the left. We're going to move our decimal in the original number, the same number of spaces, and the same direction that we move the slider. So let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 jumps to the left. We added these 2 zeros here as placeholders. We You don't really need this first one, but sometimes it makes it a little bit easier to read. So 7,250 centiliters is 0.0725 kiloliters. Here's some independent practice for you. 45,000 grams is how many milligrams? Would you stop the video now? Use your metric slider and figure out the answer to that one.
45,000 grams. How many milligrams are?
450 milligrams. 450,000 milligrams.
45,000 grams is 45 million.
45 million.
Three jumps to the right. I'm sure you did that right. Here's some more for you to practice on your own. Let me know if you have any trouble with them.
So, people, okay, we review all the units of measure, right? It's a little bit more than 9 o'clock. Okay, I will see you at 9:30 for exercises.
Bye, Mr.
Bye, Mr.